Hey, evaporated drink coolers need to be cleaned and scrubbed every few years. I took mine apart last year. That's not easy when they're big clay pots full of wet sand. But, anyways, I took mine apart, I let it dry out, and today we're finally putting it back together. So, the key things that you really want to make sure you have is between an inch and an inch and a half between the two pots. So you buy one big one and one a little smaller. Some cultures, the inner pot is more of an Oya shape that has kind of like a curve to the shape of it, to the top of it, so that the mouth part that you put your hand in would be narrower. Some people do that. I didn't. I did what's the least expensive of the big clay pots that I could afford. And for me, in my part of Apache County, Arizona, it works well. And I have a couple of things that I'm going to change about mine this time as I'm rebuilding it. Um, you make it the same way. I'm going to change the way I did my lid. And I'm thinking about adding a drip bag. Think of like an IV drip in the hospital. I have a water filter bag that acts the same way. I'm going to make an insulated cover to slip over that just so that it's a little more pretty hanging on my front porch because my front porch is the northeast corner, gets the most shade, and is the coolest all the time. And I finally have got a rolling plant stand that's a couple of inches tall that so that the air can circulate all around it. So I'm thinking about hanging that uh, dirty water bag style thing. I don't know what else to call it. Up. I'll have to do more videos so you can see. But I'm thinking about hanging that up so that I fill that bag every periodically, every couple of days. And I don't have to always be tending to the pots 2 or 3 times a day, which is a challenge for me if I need to be gone for a little bit or away. So let me now see if I can maneuver showing you what I've got. So my big pot, I believe you can see that because I can't see what I'm showing you. My big pot is a 16 inch. My little pot is a 14 inch, I believe. I think I'm right. So inside, I used silver duct tape, heating and air conditioning tape, and I put it on the top and the bottom of this one and only the inside of the big one. And then you put an inch to 2 inches of sand in the very bottom, and then you adjust this pot on top, and then you begin to fill the edge. How did I keep it so clean? Well, it wasn't perfectly clean. I had to take a damp paper towel and get a little bit of sand out. But basically, I cut off the top of a water bottle and I use that as the guide for how wide my space is. And then I'm in Arizona where I have some pretty good sand. So I go get some pretty clean sand. And if you pour from the inside toward the outside through that little funnel, you don't get as much sand inside the inside pot. So you don't have to clean it so much. And most of the time, you don't have to sweep the floor either. But this is if you want to like take your time. But what else have you got to do, right? Take your time, go slow, do a little bit, move it around, move my little funnel around, get some more sand. I'm hoping you can see this pretty good. I'm trying to make sure that there's no pieces of anything in my sand because I got it from my property. I didn't go buy sand. Some people think that you can't make these unless you buy sand. You do you. But it's not dirt, it's sand. a lot of my property, I have what I lovingly call, it's basically beach sand. So, and then when you get all done with this, then I put a plant waterer tray on the bottom so that I can fill from the bottom as well as filling from this area. And I used to have these pretty stones that I got from, where did I get those from? Dollar Tree or something. I had them all around the top so that, because I was having trouble with the songbirds um, hanging out on it. And so once I put those shiny stones on there, the songbirds didn't bother it as much. And I don't know if I'm going to do that for a decoration this time or not. I know where they are. I had put them over in the cactus garden, Aussie's cactus garden. So every once in a while, I get a couple of pieces of junk out of my sand, and so I just clean it out, throw it out. And so this basically is a vegetable or drink cooler. This isn't going to be a refrigerator the way the average American thinks about refrigerators. And so you're not going to get super cold temperatures, but it's so insulated, and as the water is over it and then the wind blows, and you can tell my hair's blowing around. Wow, it really is. That doesn't look good on the camera, does it? But um, when when you're in an area where there's a breeze, it as it dries the sand, it helps keep the thing cool. That's how it works, anyways. And so this will be done soon-ish. I don't have a proper lid for it now. I'm going to be making something cool and pretty. And because of something I had happen years ago when I first made this, I went shopping and I was gone all day long, and I came home. I had put a glass lid on it like I'd seen on Pinterest or something. And big mistake, don't put a glass lid on it. If you're gone and the sun gets on a glass lid, then you have an oven. I came home, everything I had in it was cooked, and it was nasty. And I was so disappointed because, sometimes I just don't have it like that. I can't replace the food or whatever. So I'm changing the kind of lid. I'm not going to do glass, of course. I think what I'm going to do, I've seen some really pretty ones, but I think what I'm going to do is aim for wood, and underneath, I'll put some Reflectix on the inside so that the Reflectix will reflect the cool air back down in. So even though I want some evaporation happening, it will help hold the cool in. So I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about making the wood with braided pieces of cotton fabric between slats of wood so that as I get it wet, that fabric stays wet too. I had seen some from some other country that looked like they were actually coil woven baskets or something. I might hunt for a pretty basket in a thrift store and put a knob on the top of it and put some Reflectix inside of it. I so haven't made up my mind, but this is how you do this. This is how you do it. And then you can put bottles of water, jugs of water. I actually have a gallon. My dirty water jugs have an orange piece of tape on them, but here's a gallon jug of water. Just FYI, a gallon jug fits right down in there, and there's still room in this size. And you can make these any size that you want to. So I have a couple of thoughts about what I'm going to put, how I'm going to do this, but It's at least going to hold my drinking water bottles so that my drinking water can be cooler than what's available around the house. And so if I don't have ice or something like that, I can get a cool drink. And when I happen to have romaine lettuce or some broccoli or cauliflower, or even the occasional time when I have a small amount of salsa in a small jar, that could be in here and be safe and stay cool. And that's my that's what I got. So back to the evaporative cooler, and I have a better place for it to live, and I can do a better job with it. So it's kind of an upgrade. So I hope this was enjoyable. Please like, subscribe, do all those fun things. If you want, do me a super thanks. Come on out on a Sunday to our um, Simple Living live stream. I talk about my Chevy Tracker travels, which right now I'm still waiting on an engine. I'm going on a year and a half now. And I also talk about this cabin life, and this is my nomad lifestyle for the moment. I'm not done traveling, and yet this is what's happening for me. And so you may as well come along for the ride. And if you enjoy it, join, become a member. Members get everyday info that other people don't see. So, y'all have a great day. I'm glad I could share this with you.